Hi guys, welcome to the September edition of Games Hud's PS Plus Roundup. Today it's myself, Ollie, and Tom.
Hi.
And welcome back, Matthew.
Hello.
And Richard.
Hello.
So today we're going to be talking about the latest PS Plus games for PlayStation 3. So we'll kick it off with Assassin's Creed 3, which is a bit disappointing.
It's not great, is it? It's got some really good points in the story there, but it's unfortunately just surrounded by some really kind of poor gameplay.
Pretty much.
Bad area design. Considering the games are set around like free running and exploration, and you can't really do any free running. No. Or real exploration. Or any big buildings or anything. It's all kind of reduced to like sort of 2-story buildings. Yeah. There's no like interesting sites or anything like that. All the levels are really small. The areas are really small as well. I quite like the big woodland area, that main area, which then you frontier. Go off to the different, the frontier. Thank you, which is pretty cool. But apart from
it's
that,
underused as well. You just use it to get to a new area, and then you can skip past it and never go through it. It's the only place where there's any interesting sort of running. Yeah, but Assassin's Creed game isn't quite right when the eagle points are about 50 meters or less off the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. But story-wise, it has some really great points, and if you're a fan of the series, then I think it is a must, because so much happens, especially at the end, which I don't want to obviously spoil. But a lot does happen all the way through.
The other,
and I do like some of the whole themes of like it blurring the lines between the assassins and the Templars. I think that's really cool. Yeah. But it's just a shame that it is kind of let down by kind of
everything else,
kind of dull gameplay, and all the side quests and stuff are quite
boring.
Like you don't really want to do any of it. And like I got through the whole game story wise, and I think I was only 37% complete, and I'm like, but I played the whole story. I should be well over half complete at least. Come on.
It's just not the kind of game that I'm going to go back to. Like with all the other Assassin's games, you would go back to it to collect all the feathers, or you come back to it to get all the flags, or do all the side missions, or climb to the top of the building to jump up with the parachute just because you could. But all I did when I finished this was, cool ending, cool beginning. Next.
Yeah, and Connor is my least favourite. Assassin.
He's a douche.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 years ago when Assassin's Creed 2 came out, it's just not exactly where I expected it to all end up.
No.
Especially the end of the Desmond story. You think at Assassin's Creed 2, it's just the pinnacle of the series completely, and Assassin's Creed 4 looks like they're smashing it back to that kind of era, and it just 3 just. I don't know.
I'd say if you've played all the others, it's worth playing, but if you haven't played any, then just avoid it.
Yeah. And if you are going to pick it up because you've played the other games, just be prepared for a 6-hour tutorial. Yeah. Which is just dreadful. Dreadful. So I mean that's pretty much I think all we can say about that. I mean Tom did a full review of it on the website, so go and check that out on gameshud.net. So
on to Stealth Inc. A Clone in the Dark,
which used to be called Stealth Bastard. I love that. I love it.
That's cool. Which probably is a more suitable name for some reason.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. It's the kind of thing I think you'd need to. I don't know. I don't want to say sit down and invest in, because you can't really sit down and invest in a side-scrolling platform puzzle game. It
seemed like it probably would be quite short, but it was quite fun though, wasn't it? I can see it getting more, complicated, and as we were we did make mistakes and stuff. It was quite funny, it was quite easy-going, and
it's the kind of game you playing through, and then when you learn what to do, you'll end up going back over it just to get the 3 stars. Yeah. And the A+ ratings and all that kind of stuff.
I think it's a game that lends itself perfectly to the Vita, to be honest with you, because I've been playing a lot of Hotline Miami recently, and that kind of game is just perfect for the handheld thing, because you're just going around, whatever, you're on a train or whatever, and you can just smash out a few levels, and I think that's exactly what you can do on this. You're going through the level, you're getting stars for each completion of getting a grade, and it's just easy, just going through, and I can see it getting more complicated. I mean, we'd only unlocked one character out of about 7,
exactly, in about 5 levels or
so I mean, it does seem to be quite deep in terms of that, so
definitely.
It's definitely one of the games you can sort of pick up and put down and play 2 levels and then go to bed, and it's still got a little bit of a fix on it, or it's still enjoyable, and the soundtrack was kind of groovy.
Yeah, it was.
That's all sort of sitting there like bobbing your heads every now and then. Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
I mean, like it seems to be quite a flurry of PS3 games at the moment that are coming to Vita, and also they're kind of PS3 games as well. And I think really Vita is where it needs to be. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, it's a luxury. Okay, you got them on the PS3, and maybe you can play them a little bit, but
yeah.
Games like Hotline Miami and Stealth Inc. and several others, it's just a lot.
And it's great that they have given you the PS3 and the Vita version of this.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. The only other game which I haven't tried it with, which I was talking to Matt about earlier, was Guacamole, where I downloaded the PS3 version and got the Vita version as well. I was like, all right, cool. So I can cross-play that. So yeah. So I must admit, I think it's definitely worth download. I mean, how much was the file size? It was like what?
250 meg or something. Yeah. So it's just nothing. So yeah. Well, definitely worth a go. That
it's worth a go, and if you've got a Vita, then I think it's perfect kind of.
I think it's one of those games that
game.
if I was playing something really, really intense, it would be nice just to come away and play something like that, just to like calm myself down a little bit. Perfect. It's something like it's a nice sort of in between like game, or if you've only got a few minutes, you can just pick it up and have a go on a level. And levels didn't strike me as being any more than like 2 minutes long or something like that, or 5 minutes long. Like nice, short and sharp. Levels. So
yeah, you have to be quite clever with it as well, which is quite good. It reminds me a bit of Portal a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all like real cool puzzles, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very good.
So yeah, we'll move on to Jak and Daxter HD Trilogy.
Yeah. Wicked. I mean, I must admit, I don't think I've played Jak and Daxter, so to play just a couple bits of each one was kind of cool. That first one, I think, the first part of the level, maybe the other ones open up a little bit more, but the first one that we played, just Jak and Daxter, I really liked the look of that. I thought it looked really vibrant and fun, and it reminded me of an age where I would sit in my bedroom and just play Banjo-Kazooie for a month solid and do nothing else, and it just sort of had that fun gaming vibe to it, and it also sort of has that, I don't want to say open worldness, but it has that free roaming aspect to it when games sort of really just started doing that a lot.
Yeah.
PS2 was when consoles really started to, push this boundary of, there's a big level and you can play around and do all these different things. And yeah, I thought it looked kind of cool. It looked like a lot of fun. It's definitely something I'd like to go back over and.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see myself, like, once I get into it, I won't want to put it down, and I want to like explore every aspect of it and collect every last little bit of it. And I can see it becoming that kind of game. Just
did remind me very much of Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah,
just as we were talking then, in my head, I was thinking Crash Bandicoot as well. Yeah.
Well, it's got the Naughty Dog, isn't it?
Yeah,
the Naughty Dog did both. So yeah, I mean, I played them religiously back in the day when I was a little bit younger, and it was really good. I picked it up when it first came out, the HD Trilogy, so it was really great going back through them because they're one of my favourite series on PS2.
So was it all PS2 then?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
So there is a massive noticeable graphical jump, isn't there, from
each one,
from the first one?
Yeah.
I didn't think there was that much in it between the second and the third one.
No, they all quite followed each other quite quickly.
Yeah,
it was almost like a Matrix.
Really?
Thing going on. So
cash cow.
Yeah.
In there.
Well, I don't know. Naughty Dog never cash cow, but
no,
it was a lot quicker between the release dates. But yeah, I mean,
the jump from that first one to that second one was enormous.
Huge.
Yeah. I mean, it's just interesting, like the locales as well, because like in 1, obviously everything's a lot more natural based, but then you go into 2 and it's a lot more industrial, and 3 even more so. You go into wastelands and almost got a bit of a Mad Max feel to the third one. It's very, very out in the wastes. Very cool.
Sweet.
That's probably more violent than Mad Max as well, or Mad Max 3 anyway. That Beyond the Thunderdome. That's going off on a tangent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely worth a play, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of calls back to the era where platforms were at the forefront of everyone's minds, and it's kind of highlighted to me certainly how they've been forgotten. Very much so, really.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, obviously, you still got Ratchet and Clank being a kind of every couple of years kind of thing, but now you've got your side-scrolling platformers coming out with Guacamelee and certain things kind of really doing well on the Vita and on Steam and stuff, and kind of forgotten about like the Banjo-Kazooie-esque kind of platformers. I mean, obviously you got Knack coming out on PS4.
Yeah.
Which, you know, me and Tom played at Gamescom recently, and we, you know, it's not a bad little thing.
Relatively good.
And hopefully we'll see a little revival, but it's just a game that doesn't, like, genre doesn't really sell anymore, which is a massive shame.
It's got so much potential.
I'm sure it'll come back round.
I think we're that kind of era though, I think.
Yeah,
where we remember that kind of game and we want to play it and we kind of want to relive our youth a little bit. But
probably like the point of click adventures. Like people like older than us probably look back and go, "Oh, these games were amazing!" Like, well, as we do, but they probably really, really wish for it to come back. And it's one of those things that maybe one day it will, maybe it never will.
Well, that saying,
I'm sure it will.
I remember getting, because it was cheap years ago, a CSI crime scene game. And that was a point and click game. I thought it was going to be some kind of like murder mystery, like CSI kind of thing. I thought this is going to be shocking, but it would be fun. And I sort of put it in, and it was literally a crime scene. And you'd go, click. And the camera would go, zoop, into the corner. And then you would scan for evidence. And you would do that for about an hour in a crime scene, and then you take it all back to the laboratory.
What console is this on?
360.
No, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, real early 360 game. Type in like CSI 360 and have a check out. So point and click. Mini revival on the 360.
CSI.
A CSI point and click game. I think I just want another classic Crash Bandicoot game.
Yeah.
And when they announced PS4, when Sony did that big conference last year. Was it last year? Was it this year? Oh my God.
This year.
Time is just disappearing.
Yeah. 6 months ago, exactly.
Oh, bloody hell. But yeah, I remember that when they came out and he was, you know, talking it up and, you know, saying, you know, this guy would come out and talk, he did Crash Bandicoot, and in my head I'm like, they're going to do another Crash Bandicoot game. Oh, no, you're not.
No, they don't own the rights to that anymore. Oh. It's a sad state of affairs. Activision.
Which means it will never happen.
No.
Because it's not Call of Duty.
Damn you.
Or Destiny.
Destiny.
Cool.
It's the only thing they've got.
So just to give them a quick mention, I guess, the games that are on the Vita.
Yeah, Urban Trial Freestyle, which is the PS3 version of Trials, because they couldn't get Trials for, you know, time exclusive on the Microsoft systems. So obviously Trials is coming out on PS4 now. So
awesome.
We'll see.
It's a real fun game.
Yeah. Really like that. I mean, I tried this Urban Trial. It's just a clone.
Right.
You know? It doesn't do anything particularly wrong, but it's just not particularly original because obviously it's just pretty much a PS3 version or port-ish of the Trials idea. So, you know, it's just fun enough.
Level creator on it or anything like that? Because I know that's hugely popular.
Didn't see that, but I mean, it's, you know, again, it'll be a little perfect little game for your Vita, I think.
Smart.
It's another tiny file as well. It's like 150 meg or something.
Oh,
it's
sweet.
Absolutely instant.
Yeah.
That's definitely something I'd want to have if I had a Vita.
Yeah.
I'd want to have that on there. That's
I mean, it's a good little thing. And then the other game is New Little King Story, which is I haven't checked out, but those kind of games did really well on PSP, I believe. And this is the first one on Vita. And
is it like an RPG?
Kind of like, you know, like cutesy kind of JRPG thing,
right?
I believe. I may be wrong, but it's something like
solid
that.
information.
Yeah, bringing it to you.
It might be cutesy,
but it might not.
Who knows?
Wicked. Well, there we go. So that's this month's releases on PS Plus. Obviously, you can check us out on all the other social media networks: facebook.com/GamesHud, twitter.com/GamesHud, youtube.com/GamesHud. So please click subscribe and obviously keep up to date with all the information on GamesHud.net.